All right. Thank you, everybody. I'm Dewey Case with CMAC. I'm so glad to be here with y'all today. I'm especially glad to have this young lady in front of me. Her name's Lacey Davis. If you haven't heard about a company called The Grit Game, you need to check it out. Their social media is strong. The force is strong with this one. And I tell you, they do some fun stuff. So, Lacey, before we get into it, just for those watching, would you tell us about the grit game and tell us about yourself and about Johnny?
Yeah, man, I'd love to. Thanks for having me on board. This is a topic that I love super lots. And so the Grit Game is a resource for swimming pool professionals. We cater exclusively to people putting in water features, specifically in the backyard, right? So what do I mean by a free resource? We partner with manufacturers that make products that are either innovative or solve problems. And we vet them in such a way that we work with them only when we can ensure they really support the professional. Maybe it's they have a product and it's not, it should be bigger than what it is, but they don't know how to tell the industry about it. Or maybe they've partnered with us for the that brand growth, kind of like what we've done on our social media, that brand awareness, right? But we vet them and we work with them. And when we believe, one, in the product, wow, this is super cool. This is innovative. This solves problems. Or two, uh, and I shouldn't say or, and two, okay, you have great warranty processes. You have great customer service. You're quick to respond. You will support the builders and the retailers and the service pros who want to take you on. Great. We can help you. They hire my team to kind of be that brand awareness to go out and tell people about their products, let people know they exist, let them know there's the option, do price comparison. How does that work for your business? And my team is free for the pro to use in that aspect. So no matter where you're at in the country, you can find a grit gamer and say, hey, can you have time to meet with me and tell me just here's what I'm doing now, here's my main problems. And it's my team's job to say, okay, how can I help your business grow? And because these other companies are paying us, the pool pro pays nothing for that. And what's a little bit different about my team, right, is we train our people. I never want you to sell something for the sake of selling it. That doesn't create a long-term relationship, which is what we're ultimately trying to do. I believe that rising tides raise all ships. So if we can help as many pros as we can improve their businesses, whether it's through product mix or just helping them with brand awareness like this, then we all win together. There's going to be more pools and more backyards, more spas, more everything. So that's the grit game. We are a free resource for the swimming pool professional. Myself and my husband Johnny are co-founders of the Grit Game. If you've been to any trade show at all and you've seen a really cute dude walking around in really loud, wild pants, there could be flamingos, there could be pool floats on. That's my guy. And he's actually very shy and introverted. So it took me over a year to get him in those pants, which was a marketing ploy. Yeah, took me over a year, Dewey. And now I can't tell you how many cool pairs of pants he has. But what happened was, you're looking at me like I'm crazy. He wore the pants for the first time in Atlantic City one year, got all this attention. I put a picture of him in his pants on his business card. First year we're in business, right? And he goes into a branch and starts talking, and they're like, okay, kind of brushing him off. And he's like, all right, well, I'll leave you my card. And they see him in his pants and his I saw you. I saw you at this show. What are you doing here, man? Come on in. That branch gave him 2 hours of his time, of their time after they were shooing him out the door, right? So he called me and said, babe, I need more pants.
That's I never knew that backstory. That's great.
Yeah. So
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 what?
my shy man has all these loud, crazy pants, and people come up and talk to him, which he likes. He doesn't have to go and make the conversation.
Yeah. So we're doing this unedited, but I'm going to make a mental note and a shout out to our comms director Betsy to throw a picture of Johnny in his pants, just so everybody can see it, because
I got plenty.
it really is iconic.
It, it,
Johnny's known for his pants. I was going to ask about the pants later on.
yeah. I mean, if you
So
go on his LinkedIn, his title is the pants guy.
yeah, it
And
is.
that's because we got hired by a manufacturer, right? And he said, yeah, I let my other group go. And they said, who are you hiring? I said, we don't really want to share that right now. And he's like, listen, hire anybody you want as long as it's not the pants guy. And we immediately changed everything to the pants guy, because that was actually a competitor
Yeah.
that we're friendly with on the outside, or used to be. But when you asked me to come on and talk about social media in general and branding, you wrote me, you don't have to come on and share any of your trade secrets, anything that your competitors could take. I'm really in good with all of my competitors, like sincerely. I've sent them tips for their social media. I've sent them, hey, my guy, FYI, you're putting your link in an image that you had AI generate. That link's not clickable. Nobody's going to get to that. You need to put that down
Oh
here,
wow.
right? You need to put that in your comments, or you need to put that, like, I help. I'm all, again, rising tides raise all ships. If rep groups do better as a whole, the grit game will do better as a whole. We
Oh
grow together.
yeah.
We grow together.
That's so refreshing to hear, Lacey. I mean, it's my experience has been by and large, you know, whether it's a company rep or a manufacturer rep, that most people are like you, right? They want to elevate and make things better. But there's certainly some folks out there that they don't have that mindset, right? They're more than happy to squash and control. And Lacey, that's I can't commend you enough for having that. That's such a breath of fresh air, and it's certainly a model for everybody else out there.
Thank
So
you. It makes
just
us happy.
yeah, just as an industry pro, thank you for having that approach. So I
Yeah.
want to pivot to social media, right? Because we just got a few minutes. Um, you know, our audience, the people we work with, and the people that use the Mac, are largely commercial operators, right? They're managers, they're programmers, they're running swim teams, they're out there trying to fill their swim lesson programs, right? They're trying to create lifeguarding recruitment videos. They're trying to do the social media thing, and by and large, they're having to do it on shoestring budgets. They're having to do it almost a guerrilla manner, right? So
Mhm.
you're well known for your social media. It's really, folks, if y'all haven't checked it out, find the Grit Game on LinkedIn, on all the other social media platforms. It's really, it's some good stuff, folks. Good stuff. So, with that in mind, what's the secret sauce behind your social media strategy? All right, what's the genius of Lacey Davis?
So what most people don't understand is I was a full-time content creator for 9 months. I was in between jobs, and we started the Great Game, and I really didn't want to be involved. And that's going to sound terrible, but it's honest, right? I just got out of a pool company that I didn't have a great experience. Um, we can leave it at that. But I wasn't really sure I wanted the pool industry to be my industry anymore. And so I took 9 months off, and all I did was content create on my personal stuff. And it was geared towards fitness and health. And within 9 months, I ended up growing a personal following to over 500,000 people. That was across Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And I learned so much in that process that when, I had a really cool moment with Jamie Novak, and kind of came to my senses, like, no, you use your gifts to help your business. And what I what I took all of that and put it into the Grit Game. What people need to understand about social media is, number one, know your audience. Not who's scrolling, who do you want to find your stuff? Who's your ideal avatar? And you'll probably have 1 to 5 of them realistically. Maybe it's those moms looking for swim lessons. Maybe but know who your target audience is. That's step one. Make a list for each one of them. Then know what their problems are. What are their pain points that you solve, that your organization or your company solves? Then you're going to speak directly to those pain points. So it's give, 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 and then ask. You're going to give so much more than you ask. What makes the Grit Game kind of interesting is our give is a little bit entertainment, right? We do silly things that have nothing to do with anything, right? But that keeps people on our feed long enough that, okay, oh, it's Grit Game. What are they going to do? It's silly today. that keeps them looking at our stuff long enough that when it's something that we're going to either pitch a product or sell an opportunity or let them know we're going to be at this event, come sign up and do this, they're used to stopping and looking at our stuff long enough that they stop and look at that, versus what I think a lot of companies do is it's all ask, meaning here's my product, here's my product, here's my product, here's my product. It's fine, but it's old and it's stale and it's not fun unless you can come up with a way to say, here's the product in a sense that, do you have this problem? Do you want to solve XYZ? What I like to do in a format is, do you want X? Without A, B, and C, then you need Y, right? So you talk about a desire that somebody wants. Like let's use fitness, for example, because everybody at some point either wants to lose or gain weight. Do you want to lose 5 pounds, but you don't want to worry about what you eat, and you don't want to exercise a lot, and you don't want to go to a gym with a bunch of hulky humans? Then you need this program, right? So you just speak to their pain points and their goal. And that's in anything, right? Do you want your child to be safe around a pool without ding, 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 right? So it's how do you speak to your audience in a way that communicates their desires, you understand their pain points, they get me. Oh my gosh, they understand exactly what I'm going through. I can trust them with my money to make this purchase, right? So let's start there.
That's a good place to start. Yeah. What's your, so I'm assuming you also consume a lot of social media, right? Uh, what's like, what's your
Where's
top?
Johnny?
That's great.
So,
What's your top three pet peeves, Lacey? What drives you
and
batty about when you look at social media?
so number one is probably the lack of editing that goes into social media. I see so many videos that they would be so good if they just edited the first 3 seconds off. And you don't even need a software for that. You don't need CapCut. You don't need an editing software. Go into the video that you shot on your phone, hit edit, and then trim it so that, you're not going, hey everyone, it's so and so, right? Right? Just trim it.
Yeah.
And frankly, the other part of that is you don't need to say hey everyone. 70% of everybody else is doing it. You've already lost them. You don't need to introduce yourself. I had a really hard conversation with somebody today on my team uh, with, you need to understand that people care about themselves. There's nothing wrong with it. There is nothing wrong with that. But we feel like it's a dirty word to say they just care about themselves. No, they have their own lives to live. They're busy. They have kids. They have family. They're either taking a couple minutes out to doom scroll and escape and just feel a little bit about their life, or maybe they're looking for something specifically. But it's about them. And when you make your content about your audience starts to care about you, right? So you have to think about your things in that manner. So skip the intro, skip your name, skip your company, right? They can see all of that in the post, right? And get into what's in it for them. When I started posting with that in mind, what value am I giving, actual value to my audience? My platforms exploded, right? Because all of a sudden it wasn't about me. I wasn't posting the things I wanted to post about. I posted things that could genuinely help people. And I got to the point quick enough that it wasn't a 5-minute video leading up to, and this is why it's value. No, here's the value I'm going to give you. Here's why it matters. Here it is. Bye. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Simple. The other thing is people want to try to sound smart on social media. That's fine, right? But I'd rather you sound simple. The term is, in marketing, would drunk grandma understand what you're trying to tell them? If
That's
drunk
great.
grandma doesn't understand what you're trying to tell them, you're not simplifying it enough. A lot of the things that I put on, a lot of the articles I write, a lot of the blog posts I write, I put out there, I'll write it exactly how this little weird brain it comes out, and then I'll pop it in AI and say, hey, can you rewrite this at a third grade reading level? Why a third grade reading level? Because the majority of people can understand complex topics when it's written very simply, right? Alex
Mm.
Hormozy is a huge voice in entrepreneurship and business leadership. What is he known for? Taking complex ideas and writing them elementarily simply. but drunk grandma can understand it. And if drunk grandma can understand it, how many more people are going to connect and understand what your product does? We represent um, a chemical called API, and they have a product called pepper. Well, the problem I have with pepper is it's brilliant because it's for saltwater pools. You have salt, you need pepper. But pepper doesn't describe anything about what the product does, right? So we had to do a whole bunch of digging, and then we realized, Johnny and I and our team were like, it's saltwater shock. It it's saltwater shock. Why is saltwater shock not plastered everywhere on this product? Make it simple for your customers to understand what you're selling. And it's not even what you're selling. It's let your customers know this is an opportunity. This is available to you. And most people, I think, especially in sales, whether you're in commercial or residential, right? We feel icky selling, but it's not
Yeah.
selling. It's Dewey, I don't have this cup. Like, Dewey, I need you to buy this cup. I'm going to create a whole social media around it. But you know what? Maybe I need to understand Dewey's actually really thirsty. Dewey doesn't have a vessel for his water. Dewey needs a cup. Dewey's looking for a cup. Hey, Dewey, I got one. It's good. It's good cup. Right? So it's more on creating your social media. If you're selling something, if you're in business and it's a business account, you're here to help people. You're here to help people that have a need for what you're offering. So don't feel like, oh, I'm sorry, buy my cup. No, hey man, I got an awesome cup. You need it? I got it. No problem. So it's a lot of the mindset is a little bit different too, if that makes sense.
No, that does. That does. Um, I'm just trying to absorb because I'm sitting there thinking, oh, wait a minute. Okay, I'm not a social media guy. Here's three things that I do that probably I'll change for next time. So thank you for the tips, definitely. Um, what's when you're looking back at yourself, I don't know, 3 4 years ago, right, when you're transitioning and you're first getting into social media and content creation, right? What's a couple of things that if you had it to do over, right? Or if you could hop in a TARDIS and go back and tell young Lacey, don't do this, you idiot, right? What would be a couple of things that would fall in either of those categories?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of stigma around being consistent on social media. Is it important? Yes, it's extremely important. Does that mean you have to post every day? No. And a lot of people think that. And so there was a time in my life where I was posting every single day consecutively, sometimes multiple times a day. You will grow your following faster that way, but you don't have to do it. Um,
Yeah.
Consistency could be 3 times a week. Consistency could be once a week. If it's once a week, you really got to put out high value because that post has to get engagement. Understanding how the algorithm works, I think a lot of folks want to overcomplicate it. An algorithm's job on any social media platform is to keep the person on the platform as long as possible. That's it. So think about the things you're doing that would push people to another platform. Hey, check out my link in bio. Hey, I'm posting this on Instagram, but I'm advertising something for YouTube, right? Those things are going to kind of get pulled down. They're not going to go as far. But when you're doing things to tell the algorithm, I'm going to keep people on your platform longer, the algorithm likes you and it uses more of you.
Mm.
One of the biggest things with that is consistency. Can the algorithm count on you to create content? Are people going to your content in order to watch more of it? Are they going to your profile page in order to look at more of your content? So there's if you want to kind of have a quick little hack, get a series going, right? Think about content creators that have done a series where you go back and you watch, okay, well, this is kind of a theme that they're doing over and over and over again. What is that? That's binge-worthy content because people go back and they want to see other episodes of the series, right? So that's a little hack. Consistency, though, when I was in that 9 month time and I was posting every day, I moved. I moved from Tennessee to Florida. And I had about 2 weeks where I didn't post. And I'm thinking, no big deal. It took me about 4 months of posting back to how I was to get back to the engagement that I had before that 2 week gap, because what the algorithms thought was, oh no, she's gone. Oh no, she's gone. And then when I came back, it was, well, are you going to leave again? Are you going to leave again? Are you going to leave again? And it took me so long for the algorithm to trust me again that, okay, no, she's back. She's making content on a regular basis. We're going to push her forward. Another thing to consider, and this is why editing is so important on the front end, you have those 3 seconds to capture somebody's attention, and the whole goal is to stop the scroll. People they don't want to be silly, they don't want to be embarrassed, but you have to give somebody enough reason to stop. Whoop, nope, whoop, nope. You have to get their attention. So doing something like, what was that? Or something they've never seen before. Mr. Beast calls this the purple cow effect. If you're driving down the highway and is that a purple cow? You slam on the brakes, you go, what is that? Like, you have to look. But the next couple times you see a purple cow, oh, it's a purple cow. You keep going on. So his whole thing was, I'm going to do things that nobody's ever seen before. I'm going to bury myself alive for 3 days. Things that people don't want to do, you've never seen it. And he's just exploded. He's the huge. So purple cow effect, get people to stop scrolling long enough. What happens? Why that first 3 seconds? After 3 seconds, people attention, they dip drastically, right? 3 to 7 seconds is your sweet spot. The number one boost for an algorithm is watch time. It's not likes. Your followers don't matter. They do, but we'll get to that. It's not likes, it's not comments, it's not saves. It's watch time. How long are they on that one post? So when videos started being a big thing on Instagram instead of pretty images, people were posting 3 second clips with a ton of text on them. Why? Because they learned watch time and it was a hack. So those people would watch that video over and over and over and over again, trying to read the script that was on there. And so, right? So Instagram had to change its algorithm a little bit to be like, okay, well, let's catch that and have a couple different tweaks now. But watch time. So that's why 5-minute videos are dangerous. Why? How are you gonna, your retention rate's gonna dip. You want to get to the point as quickly as you can, as simply as you can, right? Throw in a little entertainment. There's 3 E's in social media content. And these are ones that I wish I knew sooner. Was you want to do at least one of these, and the more you can do in one post, the better that post will do. You either want to educate somebody, right? You're teaching somebody something. You want to provide entertainment, right? There are TikTok dance videos. It's pure entertainment, right? There's nothing else to it. Or you want to evoke an emotion. You want to make somebody feel something. You get people angry on Facebook, that post is going to go viral because they're fighting in the comments, right?
Or
You get
Reddit.
people crying because of like welcome home soldier videos. I will watch those all day, every day, but they feel something. And then they get into the comments and they have emotional conversations in the comments. And so that boosts your algorithm as well. A hack that I think did really well for me and what took my content from one level to the next as well was outside of creating content with my audience in mind. Like, why would they care about this? Why does it matter? When somebody would comment on anything I'd post, I'd go back and I would reply. But it wasn't just, oh, hey, thanks so much, kind of like it is now. It was a question. Hey, Lace, I really love this. It was fantastic information. Oh, it's great. What did you get out of it? What does that do? That gets them to come back to that video. So now it's playing again and they're engaging with it again. And now we're having a conversation. What's that doing? It's racking up how many comments that video has. It's strategy. It's absolute strategy.
Just that simple conversation between you and one other has that big of an impact on the algorithm.
Mm-hmm. Well, when it's consistent, right? Consistency is everything. It has to be consistent. So, all of my videos were doing that. Why? Because at least somebody comments on it, because we're adding value to some degree.
I knew the algorithms were, and I'm just an old pool guy, right? These things are well beyond my puny little chlorine-addled brain. But I knew they were complex. I didn't know the depth of some of this complexity. That's crazy.
At the end of my personal journey before I dove headfirst into the grit game, I hired somebody and their whole job was to reply to comments.
Huh.
Their whole job. On YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. If somebody commented, their entire job was to go in, comment, ask a question, and go back and forth. That all day. That's all they did. That's all they did. Because it matters that much. It made that big of a difference. Once my
Wow.
audience size got to that size, right? So we were pushing 500,000 followers.
Wow.
Now, I said earlier followers count,
Yeah.
but not in the way most people think that they do. Most people think I need, you know, if the grit game had 1 million followers, and actually let me give you a real life example. I posted a video that got over 3 million views on a grit game platform on Instagram. We think fantastic, right? Love this for us. The problem was it was about concrete. Well, we don't really do a lot with concrete specifically, right? It was for a product that works with concrete. Um, what happened was when you get that many views, people just start following you. They start following you. So we grew, I think, 3,000 plus followers from that one video. Amazing. Fantastic, right? But they were from all over the world and they were only interested in like concrete, not necessarily concrete pools. So what happened? Those followers weren't as interested in the 99% of the rest of our content, which means they didn't engage with it. They didn't comment on it. They didn't like it. They didn't spend time watching it. So what happened? My follower count was bigger than my engagement percentage now was, which means they told the algorithm this isn't relevant to their audience. This isn't, they're posting things that's not relevant to their following. So what did I do? I had to go in and hand block every single concrete person that I could find so that our follower count shrank so that the percentage of engagement we got now matched closer to our following count. So the algorithm that, oh, their stuff's good again. Their people like their stuff again. So think of it this way. If a pool school had 2 million followers, but none of them were in a vicinity that could get to them, that could take their lessons, that could do anything, it's vanity metrics. It's pure vanity. It looks good, but it gets you nothing. I would rather have, instead of 2 million followers, I'd rather have 120 followers in my physical town, in my location, that can interact with my stuff, that can come in and see us, that can recommend, oh guys, I know the pool school. You should go. They're great. I love their social media, right? So it's more about you need quality followers, not vanity followers. Your followers count in that. I can almost always tell when a company's bought followers. Almost always. You can go and look and say, oh, wow, they have a ton of followers. And then you look, they have 3 likes total in their last 20 videos.
Yeah.
It's because your followers don't care because you bought them.
I have never heard anyone describe that strategy. That makes total sense. And the whole culture is wrapped up on the total number of followers. But I've used the word genius a couple of times and I'll continue to do it, right? But that's genius analysis there to get hyper focused. That's good
Yeah.
stuff, Lacey.
Thank you. A lot of
That's
people,
good
they'll be
stuff.
like, you know, I have several of my personal videos that have millions of views, 14 million and up. And we'll do a company post. And after we got dinged with a high follower count, and then the algorithm, it hurt us because we were averaging 1 to 3,000 views on our videos before that happened. And now we average 2 to 400 views. And like my heart hurt. I'm like, man, you know what? We're going to have to work so much harder to get back up to that point because that one video went viral and attracted the wrong audience. But at the end of the day, right, if I got to talk to a room of 200 people about my product, it's a win.
Yeah.
It's a freaking win, right? So you have to have the right quality. You have to have quality people and let go of the vanity matrix. Would be one for sure.
Oh, that's some really good advice. That's really rock solid. Really rock solid. So we're coming up on the end, right? Because these are supposed to be short formats. I could listen to you talk all day long and just,
Sorry.
pick your brain on this thing, especially because I don't have a social media game. That's Betsy's realm. And, like I said, I run pools, right? Um, but, thank you for being here and thank you for taking some time out. So we got to do the self promotion stuff, right? So if anybody's watching and they want a master class on social media, where can they find y'all and where can they
Sure.
find you, Lacey?
So I'm Lacey with an I. It's Laci Davis. You can Google me. There's not very many of us, and I should be the first thing that pops up. Normally, I'm on every social media. The Grit Game is everywhere. I manage all of our socials, me and my one young lady. But if it's an important message, she gets it to me, and so not a hard one to find. I have a lot of NDAs out there, but many companies, many large manufacturers in our space have hired me on for a 1 day training with their social media teams for 1 hour once a week for a month with their social media person. Again, I'm here to help everybody. So I would love to hear from anybody that wants help. I'm an open book and I don't hold any secrets back. And I love to look at somebody's social media and do audits. So if I can help anybody, please, by all means, please reach out.
Please do. I tell you, folks, check it out. You'll see why she's here. You'll see why I'm calling her a genius. This is really, really good stuff. Lacey, thanks so much for being here. You're such a joy. Great stuff, folks. Go check out the Grit Game. Go check out Lacey on social. Learn from Yoda. Learn from Yoda.
I'm about that height too.
Yeah. All right. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for listening.
Bye.